Kids Church at Home. I'm so glad that you are here to join me in this week's Kids Church because our theme this week is all about friendship. And I like to think that through these videos, we ourselves can develop a friendship together, even if we haven't met. Our shout out this week goes to two friends that I know from camp who are awesome friends, and that's to Charlie and to Ty, and I hope that your friendship continues to go strong this fall. So, friendship. You know, it's very sad that in our Old Testament, there are not a lot of stories about women and girls, but there is one book that's completely about a woman and her daughter-in-law and their friendship. And so that's the story I'm going to share today. It's a very special story about two people who were brought together because of sadness and circumstance, and through that they forged an incredible friendship that allowed them to live on and find new blessings and new life together. So for this week, I'm actually going to read the story. I'm going to read it from this wonderful illustrated Bible that I found. It's been written by Glennis Nellis, and it's called the I Wonder Bible. So this is the story about Ruth and Naomi. Naomi couldn't sleep. She lay awake as the tears trickled down her face. Her life felt like a huge puzzle, and none of the pieces would fit together anymore. She was an Israelite living in Moab, a foreign country. Her husband had died, and now her two sons had died. There was only one thing left to do. She would have to go back to Israel. It was where she belonged. Early in the morning, Naomi and Ruth, her daughter-in-law, packed their bags and set out on the road to Bethlehem. But they hadn't gone very far when Naomi turned to the young woman beside her and said, "Ruth, you don't need to come with me. You should stay here with your people. There's no future for you with me. I'm old. I'll never have any more sons for you to marry. I'll never have any grandchildren. My life is done, but you are young. You should stay here and find a new husband and take care of yourself." "Naomi," she said kindly, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying with you. Wherever you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." And so the two women carried on walking down the road to Bethlehem. They weren't traveling alone. God was going ahead of them. God was taking all the pieces of Naomi's life and knitting them back together to make a beautiful new picture. That picture would look like, in Bethlehem, Ruth would meet Boaz and they would fall in love and get married. Then Ruth and Boaz would have a son that they named Obed. Naomi would have a grandson. Obed would have a grandson too. That grandson would be named David. David would become a king. And from King David's family, Jesus would be born. There's no more beautiful picture than that. What a story of friendship. From the feeling that one's life was falling apart, to finding that friend to hold on to and travel through those hard times together, to then see blessings unfold out of that friendship. I wonder, who is your friend that you count on when you're having a bad day? Who helps you to get through those moments when you're feeling sad or alone or frustrated? And who is the person that you are friends to, that you reach out to and help when they are sad or frustrated or alone? Sometimes we look for God in the miracles of life, in the beginning of life, in creation springing forth. But sometimes God is found in the simple friendships that we build with one another. And out of those friendships, we see blessings come. So who is your friend? And who are you a friend to? Well, for our craft today, I thought we would do something a little bit fun. We're going to make some walking feet, kind of like Ruth and Naomi's feet. And as they're attached and as they move together, like Ruth and Naomi did, and like you and your friends do. So for this walking foot craft, we'll need a few things from the house. You'll need some thick paper. I grabbed some paper out of my watercolor book, but cardstock would work as well. Just needs to be a little bit thicker than regular paper. Maybe even construction paper would be fine. We also need a piece of regular paper, nice, flimsy, just normal printer paper. And we need 2 coins. These are going to be weights for our feet, so they should be the same size and weight. Doesn't matter what kind of coin, as long as they are the same size and weight. We need 2 pencils. I'm using some old Halloween pencils that were left over from last week, so those will be great today. We need a roll of tape. Now, you could use packing tape. I have duct tape. If you have an empty roll, that would be even better. I didn't have an empty roll, so I'm gonna just use a roll that has the tape, and when I'm done with the toy, I'll be able to use the tape. Or maybe it'll just be a fancy new way of having a tape holder with feet attached. Those are the supplies we need to make our creation. We also need scissors and tape and a marker to trace our feet. And now we can get into making our walking feet. Okay, so step 1 of our project is to trace 2 feet onto our piece of paper. Now, if you want to get really creative, maybe you trace 2 different people's feet to really show how the feet of 2 different people are attached, and wherever one goes, the other goes. So I'm gonna go get my 2 kiddos to trace their feet on these pages. So here we go. I've got Maudelin's feet and Eli's feet. And the next thing to do is to now cut out the shapes of these feet. I've only cut 1 of each, and I made sure that they were opposite feet so that it looks as though we have a left and a right foot. The next step is we're going to weight our heels. So I'm going to take my 2 coins, I'm going to take my tape, and I'm going to tape the coins to the bottom of the heels. Now at this time, you might want to turn over your feet, and you might choose to decorate your feet or put names on them, or maybe put some words of friendship or encouragement. Maybe even wherever you go, I will go, or something like that to remind you of the story of Ruth. But I'm going to set these now aside as we make the next part of our walking feet. So the next thing that we need to do is make some paper tubes. So I'm going to cut 2 strips of paper out of this paper to make my tubes. They don't have to be very long strips, but they should be maybe the length of your palm. Now to turn this into a tube, I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to carefully roll up the paper around the pencil. And now I'm going to tape that closed. There's 1 tube, and I'm going to do the same with the other. Okay, I have my 2 tubes, I have my 2 pencils. I'm going to attach these tubes now to my feet. So I'll bring my feet back, turn them upside down so we can see the coin. And our tube is going to go in the middle of the foot and sticking out on the inside of the foot. And I'm going to gently tape that on without closing the tube. And the same on the other one so that the tubes are facing each other. Okay, tubes attached to the inside of the feet facing each other. Let's set this aside. Okay, now we're going to make our axle part. This is where we take our tape and we are going to tape our pencil to the inside of our roll of tape. And again, if you don't have tape on the roll, if you just have the cardboard, that's perfect. I'm going to tape it so that the eraser is on the inside of the tube. Because my eraser is a little bit thicker than my pencil, and I want the paper tube I made earlier to be able to slide over it easily. There's my first pencil. Now I'm going to turn the tube all the way over so the pencil is now on the top. I'm going to put my other pencil in so it sticks out the other side. So it's now the opposite side from the tube and it's sticking out the opposite direction. And I'm going to tape that in place too. Okay, this is all done. I've double secured those pencils in there with some extra tape so that they don't fall off too easily. And now I'm going to attach my feet. That over one pencil. And then the other pencil, I'm going to slide the tube. And there are our feet. Now you want to make sure that these feet can still move freely over the pencils. And now let's see if our feet work. Give your feet some space with some flat floor ahead, and then you're going to give the tube a roll. And there go the feet. Are your feet following like mine are? Let's try it again. Well, how fun was that to play with these feet? Oh my goodness, they're so funny looking. Well, I wonder, whose feet did you attach to your roll? Were you able to find somebody else and have two different feet like I did? Maybe a sibling or somebody else in your family who could exchange feet with you and then you can make two different ones. And who in real life are the feet that you walk with? Who are the people who go wherever you go and who stay wherever you stay? Your friends, your family, cousins, family friends, neighbors. Keep your eyes out this week for the people who walk with you through good times and through difficult times. People who care for you no matter what, who love you because you are you and for no other reason. And they will be with you. And know that God's blessing is in that friendship. Maybe as we do our blessing together today, you can think of that person. That person who loves you as you are, who is your friend no matter what, who cares for you and who's got your back. Let's think of that person and offer them this blessing. May there be love in your heart to give. May there be joy in your heart to share. May there be strength in your heart to lift others up. See ya!